On both sides.
Yeah, transitioning to residential, that was kind of my big thing.
We did a lot to the Bank of New York Mellon.
Hurting myself professionally.
Rent bond payment. Mellon charges.
I love that. And now so
National Bank for $32,000.
So you work with weekly homes? Yeah, what do you do?
entitlement.
Maybe she just presented to us.
So I brought,
Do you
I have a really
got
good
your tool belt out in the, excellent.
Yeah.
There's so many answers to that, I don't, most of them I can't say. So you do entitlements.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'll work with all city
well,
planners and
In my house that we built in 1718, the downside windows got moved.
so
After
Hey, Jack.
hours by me and one of my guys,
land
because
acquisition guys and then me.
they were the Met code.
But you should have did the signal.
And trying to explain to them, it wasn't working.
Good morning. Thank you for attending the Noblesville Redevelopment Commission on Monday, July 28th, 2025 at 9 a.m. I know for the record we do have a quorum, and we also have a new member, Lindsay Phipps. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lindsay Phipps. Obviously, this is my first meeting. I I love this side of things. I'm really excited to be here. I'm a real estate developer myself, so have a decent amount of background, and just appreciate the opportunity to sit here and be part of this group.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
We're giving you all the tough questions.
Don't you make her seem like her alma mater song on the record, Jack? I can't.
Well, that's the next meeting. First item of business today will be the approval of the minutes of June 12th, 2025.
So moved. Second?
Motion is second for the minutes. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Motion carries. On to financial matters. We'll have the approval of the claims for July 17th, 2025. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Seeing none,
So moved.
Second.
there's a motion and a second to approve the claims of July 17th, 2025. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We also received a financial update on our TIF funds. I had 3 burning questions that I asked Amy about before the meeting, and she explained them in great detail. So I am confident everything is wonderful.
You're satisfied?
Oh, I will sign off on them.
Good.
Moving on to, and Amy, thanks again for the updates. Moving on to the reason why we're here. Item 4, new business, Noble West, resolution number 2025-07, commission to consider a resolution approving the pledge of TIF revenues. Andrew Murray.
Good morning.
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 All right, the item before you, I'm just going to update you on Noble West. This is a project at 146 in Hazeldale Road, looking at about a 31-acre tract here. It was a mixed-use project that included townhome development, which I believe if you go out there today, that is under construction today. Then you've got a retail component on the hard corner, and then our partners at Cityscape Residential are here today, which they are ultimately the master developer and going to develop the multifamily component. Remember last year, it was about a year ago, we partnered in that deal to issue developer TIF bonds. As part of that deal structure, we pledge a certain portion of increment generated from the project, which was a split of 83% pledging back to the developer for the deemed purchase developer TIF bonds, and then we, the city, the redevelopment commission, would collect 17%. Since then, facts, circumstances, markets, there's been some changes, and ultimately one request that we have reacted to in partnership with Cityscape. I brought Adam Sturwald with Barnes & Thornburg. He's our bond counsel on this deal. But ultimately, the request before you, which is a slight tweak in the TIF pledge resolution, It's a reasonable request, and ultimately it reduces administrative burden on my team. But if you want to get into the weeds, I brought Adam, because he's a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah, I really didn't understand, because before we were pledging 83%, and I'm assuming
Still doing
keeping
that.
17, and now we're just upfront saying we're keeping 17, and so what is the difference? What are the advantages?
All right, well, why don't, Adam, you want to come up and,
Since you drove here.
Hi, Adam Sturwell, Burns and Thornburg, bond counsel for the city on this financing. So before, we had a deal with the taxpayer agreement that we had an 83% pledge, so we would receive whatever TIF dollars amount, and we would send 83% of that to the trustee to be applied to the bond payments. Then if there was a shortfall, there was a taxpayer agreement, they would go to Cityscape saying, hey, you owe X dollars in shortfall from what was projected. And some of that money would then go back to the city, so that you essentially always ended up with 17% of what was projected. So on a semi-annual basis, the semi-annual amount is $64,495
Yeah.
or $67,490. So instead of all of the administrative side of, hey, this is what it was, this is what it should have been, this is how much you owe, pay some to the city, pay some to the bondholders, this becomes a lot easier than just saying, well, we're just gonna keep the minimum of $67,490, and if it's higher, we still keep 17%. And then the rest just goes and pays the bond down at the end. So it's just
So
a
we're
lot
guaranteeing
cleaner.
the 67,000,
Yeah.
but if the 17% comes back higher than 67,000,
We got
we're
more.
gonna keep the greater.
Yeah, so it's just basically a simplification of the formula to relieve some administrative duties.
Correct.
Okay. Let's remember that in the future.
Is this something that's done in other projects, or is this unique to this project?
Good question.
Yes, that's a great question. So it is, I have just given you the facts and circumstances that are really relevant to this piece, but there are, your imagination is the limit on how you can kind of structure these deals, and depending on all the interest, like if they want to sell the bonds to a third party and completely monetize the value of the incentive immediately, like with Hageman often purchases those bonds, well, they really want the taxpayer agreement becomes more secure to a third party. Becomes different when the developer's planning on buying and holding the bonds. The taxpayer agreement then can be just a little extra, and then we can effectively recreate it by doing this, where we're just transferring the minimum amount. But it can be, I would not anticipate this deal structure now to be how you do everything forever. It just so happened that we had a structure. They were like, hey, we were actually going to probably keep the bonds. Now we can we make this a lot easier? And we found that we were making 3 lefts, and we're like, well, we could just make 1 right turn instead. So this made great sense on this particular financing. So you might know the level of taxpayer agreements on others, where you might have one master developer that's going to have 7 or 8 component projects, and they are not going to be the developer. Well, that adds a little bit more risk and distance between the city and who they're communicating with. Here, Cityscape is the sole developer, one project, sole developer of the entire TIF generating asset that's related to these bonds. So it can be a little simpler in that way too.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions? I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 2025-07.
So moved.
No second.
Second.
Oh, second. We got a second at the very end. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I was waiting to see Lindsay want to get her first second.
Well, you jumped, you beat me to it. It was close.
Any additional business before the commission? Seeing that, we are adjourned. Oh, you missed the whole meeting.
Darn.
Did your flight just get in for your vacation?
Yeah, from the high school.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Recap.
We're done.
Okay,
Glad you could make it.
You know Lindsay?
yes.
You know everybody.
You want to-
Oh, okay.
I noticed that Cityscape was the developer, and they were the same ones at River Road and 32.
Yep.
They were the old marsh.
Yep.
So it's similar construction, the square buildings
Yeah,
at the top.
Jennifer's
tiny
drove all
stop.
this way. Let's have her come up and give it.
Yeah, come on.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kuhn. I'm a vice president of development at Cityscape, and I'll be the developer on this project. And then I was the developer on Nexus, which is the one you're referencing at 32 and River Road. So here is a rendering of Arley.
Okay.
That's the name of this project. So similar type construction. It'll be 4 stories. There are 6 buildings on this project. Here, I'll jump to. So here's the site plan enlarged. So you've got Lennar up here. So they're doing their 100 townhomes. They are under construction. Like you mentioned, they've started their retention pond, and they've started some grading for their site and underground utilities. And then our site is right here. So we've got 6 residential buildings. We've got a central clubhouse, oversized clubhouse, about 9,000 square feet. We have a pickleball court over in the corner, dog park over there, and then the buildings spread throughout. We'll be constructing this road right here. It'll be eventually dedicated, but it'll provide access off Edenshaw. And then Lennar is building this road, which will provide access off Hazeldale. And again, those are the buildings. All of the residential buildings will be similar to that style right there. And then here's some more, not as pretty, but the more architecturally exact renderings on all 4 sides. Heavy masonry, balconies on all units, enclosed balconies, so weather protection for residents.
Are you
as well as
building the
privacy.
townhomes?
We will not have any townhomes.
That's the other
That's
one
Lennar.
north of there, right?
Yeah, so Lennar, and they have a rental restriction on theirs when we went through. So we zoned, so this was part of the old Noble West PD. So this tract, the whole 30-acre tract was zoned for 611 multifamily units. So when we came back, we rezoned it for our portion, which was, we zoned for 278 units. So we'll be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom for rent only. And then Lennar came back and did their, for around 100 townhomes. And they have a rental restriction. You have to own it. I believe it's for 1 year before you can rent in their portion. And then on that hard corner where it was rezoned for retail outlot, that's going to be a Kensington school. And they're going through TAC right now. So that's a pre-K through kindergarten school that came in from Chicago.
Am I reading this right, that their townhomes are going to be starting around $500,000?
450 is their target market.
Okay.
It's a starter home.
That is today. That's why we love renting, so.
My
Okay.
first house was 38,000.
Any other
I
questions?
I walk by there every day because I live right by there, and it looked like they have been pumping out a lot of water.
So
I mean,
the-
like, it was crazy what I've seen.
Yeah, so the retention pond, because it's by the Kirkendall ditch over there, they were encountering a lot of wet soils, so they were doing, they didn't have a lot of dewatering they were doing in order to get the retention pond formed correctly. They should be finished with their dewatering efforts, but there was some wet soil over in the corner. Nothing to be concerned about, just
Okay.
part of construction, but yep, good eye,
Okay.
you're correct.
Have you noticed that it rains like almost every day?
I did
I
notice
mean, you
it's
should have
hot.
seen the amount of
It's a
water
lot of
being
water.
pumped all day. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
New
so wet by
reservoir.
the creek, yeah.
Yeah.
New reservoir.
When are you expecting completion of the
Yeah,
project?
so we'll start, we're vertically integrated cityscape, so we have in-house construction and then in-house property management. Our construction team bothers me every day. As soon as we are closed on the TIF bonds and then on our financing, which should be in the next 2 weeks, we'll start construction, and then we have a 24-month timeline, but we'll deliver in phases, so the buildings will be delivered in phases.
Yeah.
Our first one should be 12 to 14 months after we start construction, and then complete in 2 years.
Wow, that's
Okay.
great.
Well, thank you.
What
Yep,
did you
thanks,
say
everyone.
about owning for a year and then you can rent?
That's
That's
what was-
Lennar. There's a,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a restriction on them as far as renting. Believe it started with, was it MI Homes that was the
Yeah.
first one?
So for the new townhome projects in the last year and a half, the council has been requesting a commitment from the developers that any townhomes be owner occupied for a year and under one person's ownership before they can be rented by that owner. So it's to encourage it to be used as single family rather than encourage outside investment as rentals.
I see, okay.
And then there's a percentage capped rent after that comes off of how much that it can rent for. And that's all controlled by their HOA.
Thanks.
Got it.
And do you have any income-based units?
As part of our economic development agreement, we have 10% that has to be based on a certain percent of AMI.
Okay, okay.
What is that normally, like 10% less or?
So ours is 80%, 30% of 80% of AMI. It-
Okay.
Yeah. It's
We're gonna do
it's a math
another-
Andrew,
calculation.
after the
We'll be
meeting.
back, that's the next
That's the
resolution.
next resolution. We're just gonna change it to a flat number.
In other words, you don't want me to know. Got it. Got it.
Anything else?
No, thank you for,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
he came too, does he need to? All right, we're adjourned, we already adjourned.
You got stuff to sign?
I don't know,
August 14th is your next regular scheduled meeting. I'm not sure if we have anything planned for, but yeah,
I'll be here,
Okay. You'll be here if there's no meeting? You'll be
regardless.
yeah. I'm dedicated.
Got a lot of time on it.
here. Uh-huh.
I gotta figure out that new math.
No documents today?
Nothing to sign? Yes, we have. Okay.
All right.
All right, we're waiting on you. We're busy people, we gotta get stuck in parking lots.
Oh, it's terrible. I know.
She got here.
Well,